Welcome to Chemistry 1011, that is Introductory Chemistry Lab. I'm Dr. Hyatt and I'm really looking forward to working with you this semester. So this lab is supposed to accompany Chemistry 1010, so you should already be enrolled in that course, and you can either take it on ground or online. If you're in this section, you're in the online section, which means you should go to the bookstore and purchase a lab kit, or you can order it online from eScience Labs directly. Now the benefit of going and ordering it from eScience Labs is a little cheaper. The benefit of getting it from the bookstore is you can get it today. If you live far away, I know I've had students stationed in other parts of the country or even other parts of the world, do let me know ahead of time. Communication is key in this class. So now you've got your kit. What are you supposed to do with it? Open it up, pull out the packaging slip, and make sure that all of the contents are present. If they're all present, then you're good to go. If they're not, contact the company immediately because they will replace anything. Also, turn on that pH meter. Make sure it's working. That's the number one thing that is always broken in people's kits. And make sure all your glassware and supplies are not damaged. Alright, so now, this is D2L, what you're looking at here. And so all of this under the Getting Started tab, read through it, look through it, make sure you pay attention to things such as the itemized assignment list. This is the number one thing I recommend students print off. It's a list of all the due dates and all the assignments and how much they are worth. Just slowly make your way through the scores, following in this order, and you'll be fine. You'll stay on top of things. But also look at the syllabus, make sure you understand how grading works. You'll find out cool things such as you do get to drop one lab, woohoo! Things like that. And then just read through the rest of it. Find out when my office hours are, that kind of thing. Under the student-led Q&A forum, this is a link that I've left open all semester and you guys can talk with each other. This is a really large class. So I think as of this moment there are 70 students enrolled, which means you guys are going to be able to help each other a lot quicker than I can help all 70 of you. So ask each other for help. Okay, I don't mind you guys helping each other at all. Don't directly say, hey, what's the answer to question 5? But do help each other understand the material. So then, under each unit, so each unit has a due date, and so you can see those due dates under the Resources Calendar tab, and it's going to tell you those 5 due dates that are also the same due dates that were shown on your itemized list. Now, I've broken them up into sections. So the first 3 go really well with Unit 1 in lecture. And then Unit 2, there's not as much. Now, the reason I did that was because some of you might not get your lab kits, or you might feel like you're falling behind and you want to make sure you do strong in lecture and in lab. So by kind of making it a little lighter at the front end, it's allowing you to kind of get your feet wet, get situated, and make sure you're on top of things. And then Unit 4 is going to be our hardest section in both lab and lecture. So make sure, I give you 4 weeks for Unit 4. Make sure you really buckle down and spend the time you need to in those units. Alright, so back to content. The first thing you're going to want to do is figuring out how each unit is set up. So to give you an example, I have the first thing is set up is Lab 0. So under Lab 0, if you click on it, you're going to have 2 links. It's a link, and then a Dropbox. So when you click on the link, it looks like this. And you can either make it full screen or just leave it the way it is. And so it's little tips telling you how to use it. You can hit the next button, you can skip through using this, and then there's even some videos on lab safety. So go through step by step and just check out everything that's here. And then at the end there are these download documents. And so the 2 documents you would download here would be your lab safety contract, and then a document that tells you how much time and what materials are required for every lab. So let's look at those real quick. So the time you need for labs, you'll notice it says the materials you need besides that are distilled water, or maybe you need a pen and paper. It'll tell you if you need to go buy some orange juice. I mean, I don't know what all it's going to include. I mean, I do, but it's going to be a list, and it's going to tell you how long each lab takes to kind of help you buy your time. Okay, then the lab safety contract. Before you turn in anything and before you do anything else, you need to turn in the lab safety contract. I am giving you bonus points for turning in that contract. So get that done ASAP. Okay, so all you do is you click on it. It's a fillable PDF, so click, 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 click accordingly, and then down here at the bottom print your name here, and then you can sign it. You can either sign it by printing this whole document, signing it with the pen on the paper, and then scan it or take a picture and send it back to me, or you can insert your digital signature. 2 things to note here. 1, if you are taking a picture of any of your documents, please make sure they are legible and make sure that they're oriented correctly. It annoys me when I have to take the image that you've sent and rotate it to the right or rotate it to the left. And I'd prefer not to have to do that for every single one of you. Okay. Number 2, you can digitally sign this. If you don't know how to do that, this little button over here for fill and sign, I just got the Acrobat Reader, so everybody should have this capability. This is for filling and signing, and what it does is allow you to click in here, hit the sign button, add your signature, and now I can literally type in my name, hit apply, and I have just filled my signature in here. Okay, and then I could put today's date, 1-11-2018, put the course name, CHEM 1011, nope, not fall, spring 2019. Okay, and then you would save this item to your desktop, and then you would go back into the D2L shell, and right underneath that link is a Dropbox for it. So all you do is open that Dropbox, drag and drop your safety contract on it, and you've completed this and you've gotten those 5 extra credit points. All right, that's pretty much how all of the labs are set up. So let's go look at using the ideal gas law. There is a discussion post, so everything has a discussion that's worth 5 points. And then they have the lab, which is going to be the link, just like what we just looked at, where it walks you through, it explains it. And then at the very end is this assignment and procedures. And so on the left-hand side, you've got links for, here are the procedures. So these are your directions, if you will, just like your recipes if you were cooking. And then over here where you see lab workbook is going to be worth 45 points. So it's always a Word document that you'll be filling in that accompanies the procedure. So the procedures will have things such as tables in them, but you won't be filling them in there. You'll be filling them in through your lab workbook. So let's look at them. So for instance, this is the ideal gas law, which means that there were 2 experiments under the ideal gas law. It'll tell you what materials you need. A procedure, if there's any lab safety, they'll warn you. Sometimes they'll have little tabs like here, where you might have a demo, where it'll show you an example of how you do it. Okay, so you would just click on it, it would open up an image, a video in this case, that you could watch it, see how it's ran, and then you could run it a little more easily. Okay, so I'm hoping that kind of thing gives you confidence, make you realize that, hey, I'm kind of doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so definitely take advantage of them. The harder they are, the more of those little videos that are embedded in the PDFs. And then at the end, you'll notice that it's got a data sheet, but the thing is, don't fill it in here. Go to the Word document and fill it in here. So this is what's called the lab workbook, the one that you would have downloaded by clicking here for this lab. So you would go here, you'd fill in, your answers to the pre-lab questions. Probably sometimes it's nice just to change the color of your font so it's a little more obvious. Blah blah blah. You'd write the balanced equation maybe. You'd put your little arrows in. So it might more accordingly look like H2O2 goes to, and then some of you guys do like a little caret, okay? And then you make these into a subscripts. You'll learn, you kind of get used to it, and then you'll include the rest of it, okay? Now, you might be like, how did you know what the balanced equation was for it? That's where all of this reading comes in handy. It should be somewhere in this reading, should kind of talk about what's happening, what are you supposed to be learning from this. Okay, so read through that, use it to answer those pre-lab questions, then fill in your data tables. Sometimes it'll ask you to make a graph, and you can make that graph either in Excel, or you can just do it with a pen and paper on graph paper. But then if you do either way, insert the picture of that right here, and then finish the next experiment, and then answer all of those post-lab questions. Make sure you save it, put it then in the Dropbox that is on D2L. Okay, so we'd go back here, you'd click on the Dropbox, and then you'd insert it. All right, so for every lab, you've got just that. You've got a discussion, you go through the whole video sequences that are on through the link, and then you take the workbook, the lab workbook, fill it in, and you upload it using the Dropbox, and then you're done with the lab. Okay, if I were you, I would save some of some of your materials. So what I mean by that is if you ever completely screw up a lab, save the lab stuff that you have, and then if you want to, you can always email or call eScience Labs and they'll send you new chemicals. If you don't have enough time, you can email me and say, hey, I spilled this all over the place. What can I use instead? And I'd be able to suggest something that you could pick up at a Walmart or Kroger or something. And then additionally on top of that, I suggest saving your non-consumables. So for instance, early on in the semester you'll be using pH testing strips. I would suggest saving them because the pH meter later on is like in unit 12. People have problems with that lab for some reason. The pH meters start to act all funky. And then my number one thing is, hey, just grab some of those pH strips and just do it manually. It's close enough. Or I can have other suggestions for you. So with these labs, you're doing it by yourself, but you're not by yourself. I want you to feel like you can ask and email me, you can email your peers, and we can figure out ways to help you be successful in this class. So you just got to put in the effort. It is a lot of work, but if you put in the effort, I hope it'll be beneficial for you and that you'll learn a lot. Under quick downloads, all of those at the end of every unit, the videos that you walked you through just a little bit ago when you had to click on something to download, these are all those documents. So if you're like me and you just like downloading everything, having it all ready, and then you can go back through and do the clicking and reading all your materials, I have it here for you. If not, don't even look at it. Don't bother it. All right, so with that, email me at hyattl.apsu.edu. Email me there. Don't use this little thing at the top if you ever have questions. And I really look forward to working with you this semester. I hope it is a good experience for all.